Well, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Saturday afternoon
Woo,
Let It
good
Run
day.
podcast. Fred, you look like you're in your studios there in Hamilton, freezing cold, New Jersey.
Well,
As
my best
well,
spot.
I am too in freezing cold, New Jersey. And we have a special guest on with us today. He was on before with us, and he actually took my moniker this time. He is the traveling handicapper, and he's in the Dominican Republic. With us, we have my buddy Mark Miller. How you doing out there, Mark?
What's going on, brother? Thanks for having me on.
I can hear all the birds chirping in the background in that beautiful weather. So, bring some back when you come
Yes.
to the Northeast.
Sorry for the noise.
Yeah,
No,
at least it's good
we
news.
enjoyed it. All we've been hearing are snowplows. So hearing birds is not a bad diversion, Mark. We appreciate it.
Good.
Yep, we had Mark on a show one time before when Fred was in his rehab recovering. Mark joined us again, gave us some good insights last time when we broke down a Gulfstream card. So now we got an absolutely great day of racing all over the country with the Fountain of Youth Day. Rebel Day is tomorrow at Oaklawn. Gotham Day, which didn't come up that great at Aqueduct. Muddy track, a lot of scratches, small field.
Yeah.
So probably avoiding a lot of Aqueduct today and focus on Gulfstream, Santa Anita, and even Oaklawn today. They have a cross country that involves a couple races. So we're going to cover today the pick 6, and then Mark has a ticket going to put up for his pick 5. Me and Fred are going to put up our rainbow tickets. But before we get started, we will like to thank our sponsors, Casey's Pork Grill, Tom Dolan and family, and the vape shop, Alicia, on Route 33 for all your vaping and smoke needs. And our newest and biggest sponsor, Brisnet. We're happy to have them on board with all their great products that they offer. And I know Fred will talk about it a lot during the show, the E and the late pace and the prime power. So we're happy to have them on board. So we got a lot to cover today, guys. Let's kick it off, and we will start. Anybody got any first thoughts before we go through the races? Anything, Fred?
No, just again a great card from top to bottom. Gulfstream Park. There's some earlier races that have some horses in it that we looked at before. Mark and I were chatting before we actually got on the show. Knightsbridge is running. Sister Tran is running. We're also once again yesterday we talked about it. Welcome back, Dylan Davis. He's got 2 mounts today, and particularly has 1 mount we'll talk about when we get to that race. We actually like the horse that he has a mount on, but that's about all I got to say as far as anything else, John.
Anything, Mark, to kick it off?
No, let's get it going, brother.
All right, here we go. Race number 9, start of the Rainbow Pick 6. It is not a mandatory payout, so it is a jackpot feature, which doesn't look like today's card will, come up with a jackpot winner today. So we're going for the poor 70% of the pool. So first race, 9th race, is a handicap $100,000 on the synthetic. My favorite race is in Gulfstream, that Tapeta, that fake track. I love it. I do not, actually. So
I knew that was coming, John. I knew that was coming.
All right, so first race, no, real strong opinions. I like the 6 horse as my top pick. But other than that, I used the 4 principles to try to get out of the first race. So the 4, logical favorites, I'm going to use the 3, the 6, the 9, and the 11. 6 being my top pick. Second time back off the layoff. And he was up against the bias last time. He ran wide the whole way when the rail was golden. So I'll make him my top pick and try to get out of the race with nothing crazy, no chaos yet. Down the road, we want chaos. But this race, the top 4 principles for me. Fred, what say you?
Well, I hope for a little chaos. I went deep here. I had trouble singling just one horse that I thought was exceptional. I mean, my top pick, if you want to use that, would be the number 9, Prevent. Love the speed he shows on Tapeta, on synthetic. Loves Gulfstream Park. 7 for 15 on Tapeta, 6 for 11 at the distance. Johnny V getting on him again. He won with him last time out. But I did go deep here just because I think anything can happen. And I certainly, 3, 4, 6, 9, 11, 12 were the horses that I picked. A lot of people talked about the number 6, Chow Chuck. a 6-1. Certainly not a bad choice to have a Flavian Pratt on that horse. The race 4 back fits very well for that horse if he runs. So I went a little deep here. I went 3, 4, 6, 9, 11, 12. And we'll go from there, John.
Is the 12 running or the 12 scratch? I had the 12 as a scratch. Maybe I was wrong.
I think the 13 scratch was
Okay,
also
eligible. Got it.
My understanding is the 12 is running, yes.
Okay.
Mark, any thoughts on this race, Mark?
Yeah,
Besides John doesn't like synthetic, we know that.
The 12 is scratched, Fred. I'm looking
based,
now. 12 is scratched.
Oh, okay. That was a late scratch. Thank you, guys.
Okay.
I'm basically with you guys there. I mean, I think the horse that I would probably single would be the 11 if I had to. But yeah, I'm with you guys on that race for sure.
All right, nothing crazy there. Just get out of the race and let's move on. Mark, you kick us off with the pick 5.
Yeah.
The ticket starts here.
Yep. So in the 10th race, bunch of horses that are capable of winning this race. I don't really love betting these outside posts on a turf race at Gulfstream. So I really do like the 3 here. He's an honest horse, and I would like to get a horse that kind of is capable of being up in that first flight. So I like Venencia. I think Candy Quest is also another horse that has a shot at doing that. So 3, 4. I've heard chatter on the 6. I'm not going to leave him off my ticket, but if I was betting a horse to single, I wouldn't do that. And then, I have to keep the 9 on my ticket. I'm going to go skinny elsewhere, but my 2 top horses are definitely the 3 and 4.
All right, I'm watching this stretch drive here at Gulfstream. I got to get this horse to the wire. Wire!
Get him,
No
John.
wire in time. No wire. Ugh, I think I got nailed at the wire. Ugh. We'll see, but that angle at Gulfstream, I needed the 4 to hang on, and the 2 was coming. I don't have the 2, but started out with a real nice first 2 races. $16 winner, $18 winner.
Oh.
And now I'm cheering for a 5-2 and an 8-1. I think got me at the wire. Hang on. But they were showing the 4 in the gallop out, but it looked like the 2 got him to me.
Well, maybe the cameraman knows, John. The cameraman knows.
Yeah, looked like the 2 got it. Looked like the 2 got it for me, but.
Oh, it's not even close. The 2 went by him by a head. So,
oh, really? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, John. Sorry about that.
Yeah, that was a widowmaker. All right. All right. So now the 10th.
What about you guys? What are your feelings on the race 10?
Race 10. Here we go. Mine. It's a spread race. I think the outside horse no show Sammy Joe 9-5 is a little bit. That's a little bit too low. He can win. I'm going to use defensively, but I will, try to beat for sure. The ones, the 4 is very logical. I'm thinking the 5 may get out and send him because Grand Motion has him and the 9. So I'm thinking maybe he'll be the speed and maybe he doesn't, stop. Maybe he just keeps going. So, and then sets it up for, the 9 to come closing. But if he forgets to stop, I got the 5, going on. The 4 is logical. And my crazy one I'm going to throw in is the 2 horse. Ian Wilkes ain't going to just throw a horse into a stake race, second time turf, without a little bit of knowledge. He's just not going to, poke and hope. So I'm going to throw the 2 as one of my crazy ones in here. It'll be 20, 30-1. So we'll see if he could, close at the right time. Fred?
Yep. So I went, you can see the ticket there, 3, 4, 5, 9. You already talked about the horses. The only thing I want to say about that, I left the 6 out. I don't like the 6. I just, he's a wild card. Doesn't really do anything for me. Other than that's Dr. Joseph's second horse in the race. He's got the 3 Venetia, who I do like.
Hang on, Fred. I got a stat on Safi Joseph here in these turf races. Turf races over the last 5 years, over 10 furlongs. Safi is 4 for 80.
Okay. So
and in stake races over the last 5 years on the grass, graded stakes 6 for 141.
Well, that's amazing because his stats are so good otherwise.
Yeah.
To hear that, that's his Achilles heel. His Achilles heel. But so I like the 5 flying. David Egan is a tremendous turf jockey. He was a championship jockey over in Europe. He's been riding here at Gulfstream for quite a while now. He just is a good tactical rider. And in a mile and 3/8 race like this, I think he's definitely going to have a horse out, probably going to be out in front for a little while. There's a big enough field here that there's going to have to be, I think there's only one scratch. The 7 was the scratch here. Again, I went deep, getting chaos ensues in both ends of the spectrum. The 5 furlongs and the mile and 3/8, you get those two, you tend to see chaos. Although David Egan did take a horse wire to wire in the mile and 3/8 a couple of weeks ago, saw that. But I think the 3, 4, 5, 9 will do it for me. So we go to race 11. The big race, one of the big races today, the Kentucky Oaks Prep, the Devon Dale. The scratch of the 2 and the 3 leave a race, a field of 7 left to run. If you look at my ticket, you can see I just went with the 4 and the 7. I love the 4, Omaha Bay, since the 2 and the 3 scratched. Puts that horse a little closer to the rail, which I think is important, saving the ground on a speed trip. I think that horse is going to get out. I think Castellano's been on him. Castellano has been on that horse before. He has the highest U.S. time form pace figure in the race. I think he knows it. I think Castellano knows it. I think he's got a better post position than On Time Girl. Not that the 2 scratches bring On Time Girl 2 slots in. That's going to help a little bit. So I just went with the 4-7. That's who I have here. Mark, who do you like?
Yeah, this is a tough race. I mean, like you said, the 4 breaks it's made in, but I just see so often, so many times the horse get into the lead and they never tested their eyeball, and so I'm actually going against the 4, and the 7 in that race broke terribly. It ran a pretty solid race. I think learned a lot as well, and came with a pretty thunderous run there. Then comes back from that to win. So I like the 7. I thought the 8's debut was really good. Irad hopping off the 8, but he's been riding mainly for Brad Cox, so I understand that. And the 9, I mean, his last race, that was a pretty impressive race. He had took back or checked, and then kind of was in between horses and just ran away with it. So I just went 7, 8, 9. I'm pretty confident that one of those horses are going to win, but
okay.
What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think it's one of those 3 for sure. And the only other one that I could see maybe underneath is Fred's 4 horse. He can improve off that debut, but it is between this outside horses, 7, 8, 9. I'm probably going to fade the favorite, the 9, a little bit on my tickets, just because he's been stagnant with his buyers. He's not really leaps and bounds moving up. So he's been, like we talked yesterday, he's bred for longer. Why has he had 5 straight sprints?
Right.
1 turn mile, he should be able to get no problem. But I do like the 8 horse. Like I said, She Be Smooth. That debut was impressive. From the 2-hole, broke, went a mile. And the horse that she beat was 8-5 that day, and got by her. Once she switched leads, and was very late lead change, but then she spurted away. And that horse, Prom Queen, came back to win, improved her buyer by 10 points with an 83 her next start. So that race should hold up. And Swing Vote, got a nice education, off slow both times, came between horses. So I got it between the 7, 8, a little bit with the 9, and the 4 underneath. But like Mark said, 7, 8, 9 should wrap up that race for multi-races. Moving on to race 12, the Honey Fox, 1 mile on the grass. Lush Lips, you're going to have a favorite here that really has done nothing wrong. The only horse to beat Lush Lips is Nitrogen, the best 3-year-old turf horse filly that we had last year. Then took it to the dirt and won the Alabama. So ran into an absolute monster. Other than that, Lush Lips has done nothing wrong. We've been trying to beat her on the show different times, figuring this is the time, and we basically haven't done it. So crazy long shot I'm going to throw in there for sure is the 8. We talked about it yesterday. Morales gave that horse the worst possible ride. He was 4-1 in this race. There's no, it was just, I don't know what that jockey was doing with that horse, because he was not trying to win that race. So I'm going to throw that race totally out. Now the horse looks, somewhat competitive in the 3, 4-1 range. but you're going to get 15-1 because of that last race. So you could excuse that. My crazy long shot will be the 8 to rebound with Dylan Davis, and we are rooting for him. It's a second mount back, so hopefully he's pumped up to go, and we'll cover with the 6, who 6, the 10, the 9, and my crazy one's the 8.
Yeah, and you actually, John, in your description of the ride that Morales gave the 8-horse, you're a little more tempered today. You weren't quite as yesterday when you talked about that ride. If there was actual venom that could have come through the screen, I think we would have seen that the way you described that ride. But I can't disagree with you, and I think. And I think all three of us here have athletic experience. When you have a chip on your shoulder and you're coming back from an injury, or you're going against a team you're dying to beat, whatever it might be, if there's a chip on the shoulder, I think Dylan Davis might end up going 2 for 2 today. But certainly the 6, 8, or the 6, 8, 9, 10 are on my ticket, just because I think those are the horses that are likely to win. Of those 4 horses, I like the 6 the best moving on up. Louis Saez on number 1 Prime Power. Getting on the horse for the first time. The horse has some good speed to stay up front with the rest of the speed. I don't know that he has to be up front. I think he has it's a better distance for him. This mile race is better for the horse. The last time out, he was a mile and 16th on turf. I don't think that was the best run for him. So 6, 8, 9, 10 for me. Mark, what do you say?
Yeah, you guys stole my thunder here. I was about to talk about the terrible ride on the 8 as well. But I actually think that this.
Please pile on.
Well, I mean, that was historically one of the worst rides I've ever seen. I will say that for sure. I was so excited to talk about it, and then God, we jump right on it. But yeah, I like the price. I like on the horse, and I mean, Dylan Davis, huge jockey upgrade there. So I like that. Now, I kind of am going against the fact that, I just said earlier that I don't really like these outside posts on these turf races. But, I mean, just from the flow of the race, the 9 is going to break and be up in mid-flight. He doesn't have, crazy speed inside of him with Public Defender. So I'm pretty confident that the 9 gets home, and maybe if we get lucky and 8 trips out, he'll be up there.
All right. Move on, Mark. Start with 13. Yeah, start with 13th.
Yeah. So 13th was another race where, Layabout is a logical favorite along with a few others. But I simply went with 6, 7. I just, like I said, I'm sticking to the tactical first flight horses that are capable of being up around the turn. And Irad and Pratt, I mean, any horse can almost get home here today, but I like those posts for those 2. And I think the 7's super dangerous here.
Yeah, I clearly think the 7 is super dangerous because my whole ticket is revolving around that horse as a single. I just think any horse that has ran twice at this distance and came in first twice has got to have an edge on the field. Again, Flavian Pratt on that horse for the first time. The horse is number 1 Brisnet Prime Power. I value that quite a bit. I don't know why. 5 to 1 is a great morning line. I'll take that all day. The race, 2 back, forget that. It was on synthetic. I mean, he still won, but, he's basically the race he just lost where he got beat by Layabout. Layabout, I watched that race. I actually bet Layabout in that race because David Egan was on Layabout for the first time and took that horse out to the lead and got away with a pretty sort of lonely lead and just basically took everybody home. I don't think that's going to happen here, and I think all the other jockeys, I should say, know that. I think you're going to see Zverev have a nice tactical trip by Flavian Pratt. So I have nothing more to say other than that my ticket is revolving around the 7, John. So
yeah, and the more I'm looking at it, somehow my ticket structure, I left the 7 off, and how are you going to leave, Maker and Pratt off, and 2 for 2 at the distance? I mean, that's one that I don't usually pass up on. So I'm probably going to do a little bit more restructuring, and I'm going to try to find room to add that horse for sure in here. But that McKnight was like a merry-go-round race. It was slow. The rail was golden. and it was the first three horses ran around 1, 2, 3. Everybody that tried to close on the outside wide all folded up and quit in the stretch, and they just finished that way 1, 2, 3. And Padiddle, what's his name? Padiddle. He was 72-1. He just stayed on the rail the whole time and got up for second. So not putting too much faith in that McKnight race. People that came out of it that did not run well, they're the ones I want out of that race, not the winner from that race. So, and a crazy long shot, I could see number 9 Tank. I think he's going to try to get out to go on the lead and try to wire him. And Layabout doesn't need the lead. He just inherited the lead last time. So he may take back. And these long route races, and that horse gets comfortable on the front end, stretching out, going longer at 30, 40-1. I'm willing to take a shot. He turns for home with the lead, and I'm going to be rooting that he holds on. So
yeah, I think that was David Aragona's top pick. While I look at the podcast, his top pick was the number 9 Tank. Exactly what you said. Take the lead.
Yeah.
Nobody goes with him. Could turn for home and just sprint away.
And Equine Edge has them as possibly like 12-1 and like 11% chance of winning. So the horse is not without a chance, and you're going to attach 30-1 with an aggressive jockey, Luis Saez, on the front end. I'm in. And I don't love anybody else. Grand Sonata's had, a million chances, just can't win. One win out of 15 starts, 2 years. But this is the weakest field that this horse has ever faced. So if he doesn't get it done here, done with Grand Sonata. But probably going to use a few just to get through the race. All right, moving on to the big
Grand finale,
what they call the day, the Fountain of Youth Day. So this race turned, really, like we talked about it yesterday, we broke it down horse by horse, and it is dynamite. It's a competitive race. There's, so many horses stretching out 2 turns for the first time, absolute stars they could be. So somebody could turn your head and become one of the top 2, 3 Derby favorites after this race today. And I was down between the 4 and the 6 were my 2. But I'm going to play both on my ticket, because there'll be a little bit more, but the 4 and the 6. But for ticket purposes here, I gave, I'm going to take a shot with the 6 as being, it's the chance you're going to get him at a 4-1 price. If he wins by 2 or 3, then he's like the second or third favorite in the Derby. So take my shot that he is as good. Very professional first effort. Changed the leads late. When he did, it was like a push button horse. He took off, powered away from him. Mott said, he wasn't sure about this spot. He was trying to enter an allowance race on Sunday. That didn't fill. He cross-entered, so he's stuck going here. What that means, I don't know. But, maybe he's not ready for this yet, and this is going to be a prep for the Florida Derby. So, he might run a good race here, but then have him cranked, for the Florida Derby and the Derby. So that would be my only take back there. Commandment has done, nothing wrong the last 2. Bullied through horses last time and, won going away. Really didn't beat much, but the education was there, and top-notch horse paid $500,000 for. And Brad Cox, Irad Ortiz, what more can you say?
Can't say much more than that, but you made a good point, John. I want to comment on what you just made a good point. Maybe not this week, but next week and the week after, any horses that are running that maybe don't need to win, but are running to stay in shape. Then you start looking at horses and you say, is this horse going to be cranked up, or is he just going to go out there and just maintain some position just to be able to be in good shape when the time comes for the Derby? That's when things start getting a little bit dicey when you're looking at horses. Whereas right now, I think everybody's fighting for a spot. I think they're going to be cranked up. They're going to be going. They're going to be looking. And I love, if I look at my tickets, if I get to this point, I went with the 5, 7, 10. I know people are saying, oh my God, he left out the 4, he left out the 6. Yeah, I did. But the 7, I love John. I know maybe you probably already know this, Mark, because you've probably heard enough about it. Speed. I think Napoleon Solo has a good chance. I can't believe his morning line is 7-2. I hope it stays 7-2 or 4-1 or even higher. Everybody thinks this horse is going to just not be able to hold up for the distance. I think he is. I think this horse is, I love looking at U.S. early pace figures and late figures. 125, 130 is good. This horse has a 142. Probably the highest early U.S. pace figure I've ever seen, 142. that's got to be something. Ran a 95, came back and worked out just fine afterwards. But I think this horse has got plenty in the tank to go again. Kendrick Carmouche, John and I talked about this yesterday. Love to see him win the race. Love to see him have a chance to get into the Derby. One of the nicest guys that you'll ever meet. I know John said he's met him and talked to him several times. That's why John is known as a traveling handicapper, right? Nobody comes to see me in my bedroom here. Let him run sweets. Or anyway, I also interesting point about the number 5 Bravaro has close, I mean, not nowhere near 142, but has both early and late pace are fairly equal, which is unusual. I think with Tyler Gaffalione on that horse, he could give that horse a good ride and just hang in there and still have enough speed at the end to close at the wire at 8-1. I'm going to definitely give him a shot. So my 3 horses that I'm picking here are the 5, 7, and the 10, Solitude Dude. I love this horse. You mentioned some of Safi Joseph's statistics. When last 5 years, first time taking a horse and putting him in a route, he's 30%. That's pretty good. That horse, Solitude Dude, is the first time going a route. He's gotten better, especially last race. His buyer speed figure went up 13 points, up to 95. The horse came back, worked out fine. I think this horse is on the improve. He's out of a great, obviously, popular sire, Yapon. Uncle Mo also involved there, too. I think that horse has a big chance. So 5, 7, 10. I think the 7's possibly going to run away with it.
All right. Well, to piggyback off your 7, he's been in my stable from his maiden race.
Really? Okay.
Super impressive. Super impressive. I've been so high on him. I hit him on every race. Now, this is deep waters. It's a true acid test for him. He's definitely on my ticket. My ticket's 16710.
Yep.
I love the horse. The horse has been training okay. His last training was like he didn't really do much. So I think he's more of a like a race day kind of horse. And every time I've seen him race, I mean, he was really impressive. To go forward from there, Chief Wallaby. I mean, I think Bill Mott's been talking about how he didn't even want to run him here, but it was like his only option because the other race scratched. And he's a pretty honest guy, but he looked like a pretty talented horse this 6. So I'm going to ride the wave like everyone else, put him on my ticket. I think the one horse that's kind of like not being talked about is the 1 Jackson Hole Ball for 1.3, 2 for 2. You know, I know he didn't beat much maybe in his last race, but I think if he makes another step forward, you could see something. And then out of the 1 hole, if he breaks and gets a good clean trip, you know, he's been pretty impressive as well, and his training has been really nice. And then finally, your 10 horse, like you said, Solitude Dude. This horse looks like a true freak at like 7 furlongs in the future. I think for his best interest, it would be good if he didn't win this race, because then they're going to keep pushing him down the Derby trail. But he's on my ticket because I think, you know, speed plays here at Gulfstream. I think this horse can easily get the distance here. But gun to my head, I'm leaning towards Napoleon Solo. I'm not gonna overthink it. I've seen him from the beginning, and Summers has been, you know, dealing with him carefully. So I trust him, and I think this horse is ready to roll today.
I think that's a very good point. So, hey, I hope everyone got a good chance to hear what we talked about. We made our points about each of the horses we like, why we like them. We got our tickets up there for you to look at. Pick and choose what you want, like we always say. Before I close out, John, any final words, John?
I just want to tell Mark to get a pina colada and make sure you have a dark rum floater on top of it. That always tastes so much better. So enjoy your time in the DR, and catch up when you get back. And love to have you on a show in the future, especially moving forward on the Derby Trail.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me, and good luck. Cash some tickets.
Hey, Mark, same to you. Always a pleasure. Your insight is invaluable. Appreciate your thoughts on all the races. Good luck to you, Mark, and John, and everybody watching. And just remember, bet smart, cheer hard. Fast horses equal some serious fun. I think Napoleon Solo
is that fast horse.
It's a fast horse. So hopefully he's going to equal some serious fun. I'll be looking forward to that race along with you, Mark. But thanks again for watching. Don't forget our sponsors, the Vape Shop and Case's Pork Roll. And also, again, our big sponsor, we'd like to thank them very much, Bridgenet handicapinginfo.com. Be sure to check them out. They have great handicapping information. And as we always say, guys, just make sure we let them run. Have a great day. Goodbye.
All right. Take care, everybody.
Take care.
See ya.